Good evening and welcome to MyANC Tv. Ikamalami upalisa Intombi Marike, and you are watching MyANC Tv live news for a recap on all leading ANC stories ahead of the local government elections. These are your top stories. Power Thursday sees 3 ANC leaders simultaneously heading 3 business gatherings with one objective. President Cyril Ramaphosa engages with religious and traditional leaders in Limpopo Polokwane. Former DA parliamentary leader Lindiwe Mazibuko vows never to vote for John Steenhuisen as councillor. ANC supporters stand in the rain throughout the president's election campaign trail in Masakeni Gqeberha last week. ANC president speaks to members of the media in Nelson Mandela Bay, Gqeberha. President Ramaphosa dismisses analysts' and surveyors' conclusion on his popularity status. The ANC hosts an event to launch the ANC Local Government Barometer to measure the degree to which they have followed their manifesto, their wins, losses, and addressed a way forward.
On the 1st of November, we'll all get to decide who will lead our municipalities. Choose the ANC and let's build better communities together. The ANC is turning a new page in local government. We pledge to ensure safe and reliable electricity. We pledge to enable local investment to create quality jobs. We pledge to provide youth with training and development opportunities. We pledge to tackle corruption in our municipalities. Let us build cities, towns and villages that thrive. Votela i-ANC ukuze sakhe imiphakathi engcono ngokubambisana. Vote ANC.
Viva President Ramaphosa, viva! Viva President Ramaphosa, viva! Amanda! Come on to victory, forward!
As part of the local government elections campaign, ANC leaders led informative business gatherings for the government, academics, business and professionals last week Thursday to discuss a way forward pertaining the state of South Africa's economy, its service delivery, and the government's leadership. The panel consisted of Deputy Provincial Secretary Nomantu Nkomo Ralohuku, who directed the evening, former President Thabo Mbeki, who was the evening's keynote speaker.
From Stilfontein to MyANC and Midrand to Mfuleni, the message is clear. Residents are tired of uncollected refuse, broken traffic lights, regular water, and electricity outages. I'm citing these things to say, certainly from the point of view of the ANC, we have had to recognize that this is the reality we face. That there is a serious crisis, certainly with regard to local government. And the second matter we've had to acknowledge about this is that, of course, for all of these years, the bulk of these years, since our liberation, since democracy in '94, the government has been, the ANC has been the government, nationally, provincially, and in the majority of these municipalities. And therefore, what the media has been reporting, as I've just read, is a reflection, in that sense, of the failure of the ANC. So, having acknowledged that, obviously it would be imperative that the ANC should then respond. It would be irresponsible merely to say, look, this is this tragedy. Let's go out and promise people that we will do something better when we don't mean it. Because it's a serious crisis, impacting negatively on millions of people.
Gauteng Premier David Makhura, and lastly, the Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Mpho Moerane.
Thank you very much to our Program Director, the Deputy Secretary of our province. My task is very simple this evening. It's to welcome you. Firstly, let me acknowledge President Thabo Mbeki, the Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Councillor Mpho Erani, the national leaders, the provincial leaders, and the regional leaders of the ANC Women's League, the Youth League in our province, the stalwarts and the veterans of our movement, distinguished professionals and business people who have honored us by attending this evening, compatriots, comrades, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very special evening. Firstly, I would like to welcome President Mbeki to this conversation, this engagement with you. President Mbeki, we thank you for having made time to come and have this important session with professionals and business people in our province. But we also know that there are those who are not physically here. There are many, not just in our province, but across the country, and because of the capabilities of technology across the world who are joining this evening. This, again, is a special evening at which we're going to have the engagement with one of Africa's finest sons. There is no doubt that President Mbeki is a formidable thought leader, he's a visionary, he's an African intellectual and statesman of note.
Speaking at a business and professional engagement held in Parktown, Emoyeni, north of Johannesburg last week Thursday, Comrade Mbeki emphasized the importance of the ANC fulfilling its commitment to provide housing, electricity, sanitation, proper roads and jobs. A turnaround, he said, would only take place as financial partners stepped up to the plane, used their skills and resources to implement these changes.
But there is one sentence in the manifesto which I'm quite certain many people, even those who've read the manifesto, will have missed. And let me read it to you. It says we must urgently finalize the social compact between the social partners to achieve our country's fundamental social transformation, to reduce and eradicate the plague of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. We must urgently finalize that social compact to produce those results. It's a strange sentence in a local government manifesto. But the reason it's there is because we had to answer the question, having made all of these promises in these 18 pages, where are the resources going to come from? As you campaign, I'm sure all of us, as we know, as you campaign around the country, one of the things that the people in the local communities will raise is jobs. In truth, those jobs are not going to come from local economic initiatives. Therefore, the absolute imperative to focus on what is happening to our economy, because it is that economy which must produce these resources. Hence this commitment in the local government manifesto.
Referring to ANC's previous manifesto, Comrade Mbeki reminded those who had gathered of a plan that was previously put in place to invest a total of 1 trillion rand in South Africa's economy and a further 100 billion rand towards revenue. Former Democratic Alliance leader Lindiwe Mazibuko has vowed never to vote for John Steenhuisen if he ran for councillor in her ward, a decision that she firmly stands on. Speaking on a Times Live podcast, Mazibuko showed great disinterest toward her colleague John Steenhuisen, whom she says has lost his ability to self-reflect since gaining power within the party.
If he was running in your ward, would you vote for John Steenhuisen?
Not in a million years.
Which of the million reasons for why he's a turnoff would be the most salient if you only had a minute to articulate it?
So, I think and I say this as somebody who used to be very good friends with John Steenhuisen. I think as he has acquired power, he has lost the ability to self-reflect. I think that for some people, the more power they amass and the higher they rise, the more important it becomes for them to surround themselves with yes men. And you need leaders who have the opposite instinct. So actually, to answer your question, ward councillor, I'd really think about it, actually. But if you're asking me to elect this current iteration of John Steenhuisen, who is someone who lives in an echo chamber and does not let in people who bring contrary views. And I say this not out of knowledge, insider knowledge of any kind. It's just the evidence is very clear. You can't defend that poster campaign unless you live in an echo chamber. You can't go to a national executive meeting that you have to lead and find out almost as like accidentally that people are voting against you.
Yes.
President Ramaphosa met and engaged with religious and traditional leaders in Limpopo, where he was incredibly well received. Outlining the plans that will soon unfold as part of the ANC renewal, the president placed great emphasis on uprooting corruption.
We've come out of an era of state capture. State capture where things were being manipulated in a way to benefit certain interests and not necessarily the interests of our people. Where evidence has been put forward, or money was just being stolen left, right, and center in many of our institutions, where our institutions had become so weakened, so weakened due to people who had other intentions being put in those institutions to advance the interests of a certain family and other interests. We've put a stop to that. We have stopped state capture in its tracks. No more state capture. Now, the big job we have is to make sure, Uri, where there was state capture. Now, state capture was not only, putting a few people at the top. In the machinery of some of those institutions, hoba ho jeniswa batho bangwe ba ba kha difuna o ita zezwila zwibi ze baba ba fanele hore ba zwite o thoma. We are rooting them out, and we are going to root them out because we must end state capture.
He then asked for prayers from present religious leaders, stating that this is where he received the strength to govern the nation. The ANC hosted its ANC Local Government Barometer to evaluate and to measure how far the government is in its plan to govern the country effectively according to the set manifesto. The initiative, which serves as a report card by the ANC, sought to provide an update on whether or not the ANC was keeping its commitments made in their manifesto, progress and challenges in governance, finance management, and other key areas of local government.
So the barometer is in fact a tool for us to measure the capacity of a councillor at a local government level to do the job.
One of the ANC leaders based in Port Elizabeth spoke during the President's third community meeting during the unpleasant weather and said that not even rain would stop voters from going to cast their ANC vote on election day. Yesterday, during his campaign trails, President Ramaphosa eased the community's concerns in both Orange Farm and in the Meadowlands area when he addressed the Eskom load shedding issue and encouraged the community to stop illegal connections as these were dangerous. In an exclusive Capricorn FM interview, The Progressive Talks special edition with Ngamula Chauke, President Ramaphosa says that the new decision for community members to vote for their own councillor candidates has been joyfully embraced by communities. Formerly, the party would choose community councillor candidates and later have communities choose from the panel presented by the ANC, but that has all changed. He added that allowing people to vote for their councillor candidates was part of the ANC renewal process and would completely transform government, a strategy that has reaped results as the ANC records a total of 25 new candidates for councillor positions. With only 5 days left until we all head to the polls on November the 1st, ANC leaders have not held back. Campaign trails are seen all over the country. From community meetings, community walkabouts, media engagements and interviews, hard work has been put on ground to win all metros.
They also raised the issue of title deeds. Yeah, some of them have not received title deeds, so we've noted that. So they have houses but they haven't received. Yeah, some of them have houses but haven't received their title deeds. If you look in this area, there are a lot of RDP houses that are being built. So we will report to Lieutenant Maile to follow it up. Yeah, but the main thing was the issue of transport.
Former Deputy President of the ANC, Kgalema Motlanthe, headed a local election campaign trail in Refila Tshwane, where he was well received by the community. On this week's lot of Know Your ANC Councillor Candidate, we take a look at a young gentleman named Tefo Rapadu, who has done quite a lot in and around his community.
Libitso la ka ke nna Tefo wa Rapadu, the ANC Councillor candidate in Ward 105. The last 5 years as your councillor candidate has been filled with lots of lessons, and it's those lessons that we hope to take forward in the next 5 years in better improving and carrying on where we have left off in better serving the community of Ward 105. I pledge and commit myself as the councillor candidate to better represent your needs, your views and your aspiration to better serve the community of Ward 105 if you elect me as your ward councillor candidate in the next 5 years. In the last 5 years, we've managed to build a more pleasant community, and under the leadership of the ANC in the city of Johannesburg, our city council, working together with all community members and all councillors, we've managed to deliver the following to our people. We have made several infrastructure improvements, including the installation of hydrants and the installation of new pipes in the community to improve the water pressure that has been lacking and make sure that there is better service for our people that they are receiving from Joburg Water. In improving our community, we have created community WhatsApp groups to communicate and assist residents who are struggling with service delivery challenges to interface and connect with the councillor on a day-to-day basis. We've built a state-of-the-art hospice facility to provide care to the many loved ones that we have in our community. We have issued title deeds in Extension 7 and are currently in the process of giving title deeds to the community of Tsutsumani, Far East Bank Extension 3 and Extension 8. We've introduced recreational events, including the daily 5-kilometer walks to keep the community fit, and we're also working close with other stakeholders in making sure that we continue to advocate for a healthy lifestyle. Working together with you, we've managed to reduce the amount of dumping hotspots and make sure that residents had the access to wheelie bins for safer disposal of their rubbish. We intend to continue to advocate for more street humps in the community of 105 to stop the many accidents that are happening that continue to take the lives of our children. Furthermore, we intend to build an even safer community by tackling crime and introducing a more community-driven CPF. We also want to fast-track the renovation and maintenance of kids' parks so that our kids can have a space to play and enjoy in the community of Ward 105. In the hope of alleviating unemployment, we intend to continue to communicate job and bursary opportunities to an even wider community.
Remember that our candidate selection as part of ANC renewal, where mistakes were made and community choices not respected, ANC will investigate after elections and correct. For now, let's all go out and #vote ANC and #be the renewal. ANC, building better communities together.
On the 1st of November, we'll all get to decide who will lead our municipalities. Choose the ANC and let's build better communities together. The ANC is turning a new page in local government. We pledge to ensure safe and reliable electricity. We pledge to enable local investment to create quality jobs. We pledge to provide youth with training and development opportunities. We pledge to tackle corruption in our municipalities. Let us build cities, towns and villages that thrive. Votela i-ANC ukuze sakhe imiphakathi engcono ngokubambisana. Vote ANC.